Stop scrolling. This quarter in your pocket is not worth 25 cents. I'm going to show you the one tiny mistake that makes it worth over $5,000. Welcome back to our channel, where we journey through history, one coin at a time. Today, we're setting our sights on a seemingly ordinary piece of American currency that might just be hiding an extraordinary secret: the 1987 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like any other quarter you might find in your pocket change, but stick with us, because this particular coin from 1987 has a story that could turn your spare change into a significant windfall. We'll delve into its history, design, and what makes some of these quarters incredibly valuable. You absolutely won't want to miss the grand reveal at the end, where we uncover just how much a specific 1987 quarter could be worth. Let's rewind to the year 1987. The United States was in a period of economic growth and cultural shifts. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, The Simpsons was about to make its debut, and popular music was dominated by artists like Michael Jackson and U2. In the midst of all this, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of quarter dollars for everyday commerce. These coins were designed for transactions, not for collecting, which is precisely what makes finding a pristine example from this year so intriguing. Most quarters from 1987 were used, abused, and circulated, bearing the marks of countless hands and cash registers. This widespread circulation is a key factor in why some of these coins, especially those in exceptional condition, have become genuinely rare and highly sought after by collectors today. Now, let's appreciate the classic design of the 1987 quarter dollar. On the obverse, the head's side, we find the iconic profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This timeless portrayal, designed by John Flanagan, has graced the quarter since 1932. Below Washington's chin, you'll see the mint mark, which tells us where the coin was produced. D for Denver, P for Philadelphia. The motto, "In God We Trust," is prominently displayed, and the word Liberty arcs above his head, symbolizing the enduring ideals of the nation. This familiar imagery is a constant reminder of American heritage and values, embedded in a coin that has facilitated billions of transactions over decades. Flipping over to the reverse, the tail's side, we are greeted by the majestic American bald eagle, perched with arrows and an olive branch in its talons, representing both readiness for defense and the desire for peace. The words, "United States of America" and "quarter dollar" encircle the eagle with "E pluribus unum" out of many, one beneath it. This powerful imagery of the eagle is a fundamental symbol of American strength and freedom. While the design itself is standard for the Washington Quarter series, it's the subtle nuances and potential anomalies in specific 1987 issues that transform an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. The striking details of the eagle, when perfectly preserved, are a testament to the minting process and the potential for a coin to transcend its initial purpose. So, what elevates a 1987 quarter dollar from pocket change to a collector's prize? It primarily boils down to two critical factors: condition and minting errors. As we mentioned, millions of these coins were minted, but very few survived the rigors of daily use in what collectors call mint state, or uncirculated condition. A quarter that has never been spent, never rubbed against other coins, and has retained its original luster is a true rarity. Collectors use a grading scale, and coins graded MS-65 or higher are particularly desirable. The fewer scratches, dents, or signs of wear, the higher its potential value. Imagine finding a coin from 1987 that looks like it was just struck yesterday. These unblemished specimens are the ones that command premium prices. Beyond pristine condition, the world of coin collecting is fascinated by error coins. These are quarters that have some kind of anomaly or mistake from the minting process. For the 1987 quarter, collectors are always on the lookout for specific types of errors. These could include doubled dies, where the image or lettering appears slightly blurred or doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Another significant error would be a missing mint mark, though less common for this specific year. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin blank wasn't perfectly centered when it was struck, resulting in a portion of the design being cut off. These unique imperfections are incredibly rare and make each era coin a one-of-a-kind piece, highly sought after by those who appreciate the unique stories these flaws tell. A true era coin can elevate a quarter's value exponentially, turning a mere 25 cents into something far more substantial. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. We've explored the history, the classic design, and the elements that contribute to a coin's rarity. If you happen to possess a 1987 United States quarter dollar, particularly one from the Philadelphia Mint, in an exceptionally high, uncirculated grade, perhaps even a gem like MS-67 or higher, or, even more thrilling, if you are fortunate enough to discover one with a highly significant, verifiable minting error, then you could be holding a coin valued at an astonishing $65,000. That's right, an ordinary-looking quarter from 1987 could be worth an incredible $65,000. So, next time you're going through your change, or perhaps rummaging through an old coin jar, keep a keen eye out for that unassuming 1987 quarter. You might just have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Today, we're shining a spotlight on a coin that many people dismiss as ordinary pocket change, the United States quarter dollar from the year 1977. At first glance, the 1977 Washington quarter appears completely unremarkable. It is copper-nickel clad, carries no silver, and was produced in massive quantities. Over 468 million were struck at the Philadelphia Mint alone, with hundreds of millions more coming from the Denver Mint. The sheer volume might lead you to believe that every single one is worth only 25 cents. But, as with all things in the world of numismatics, the most common coins sometimes hold the most thrilling secrets. Secrets that can transform a seemingly ordinary piece of metal into an absolute fortune. A look at the coin. Post-bicentennial America. By 1977, the Washington quarter was well past its major transition from silver to clad, a change that happened a decade earlier. The country had just celebrated its bicentennial in 1976 with a unique quarter featuring the colonial drummer reverse. The following year, 1977, saw a return to the classic heraldic eagle reverse designed by John Flanagan. This coin represents a distinct moment in American history, the post-bicentennial era, a time of continued economic stability and mass production at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver. Because the Mint was focused on high production volume, churning out hundreds of millions of coins to keep commerce moving, it was also a time when the machinery was pushed to its limits. This high-speed, high-volume environment is precisely what creates the incredibly rare and valuable mistakes that collectors obsess over. The value is in the flaw. Major mint errors for the 1977 quarter. The journey to becoming a highly valuable coin doesn't lie in its metal content, but in the mistakes made during its birth. We must look beyond the perfect specimens and search for the one-in-a-million errors that should have never left the mint. The first and most exciting type of error to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin planchet is not perfectly centered in the collar before the dies strike it. The result is a coin where the design is pushed to one side, leaving a blank, crescent-shaped area of metal on the opposite edge. While a minor off-center strike might only be worth a small premium, a coin struck dramatically off-center, say, 30 or 50%, where the date is still fully visible, becomes a genuine rarity. These dramatic off-center coins are striking to look at and highly coveted by error collectors. Another major area of value is the struck on wrong planchet error. The 1977 quarter should only have been struck on a copper-nickel clad planchet. However, in the chaos of the mint, a blank planchet intended for another denomination, like a nickel or a foreign coin, could accidentally find its way into the quarter stamping machine. Imagine finding a 1977 quarter that is noticeably smaller and thicker because it was accidentally struck on a 5-cent nickel planchet. These unique material mix-ups are extremely rare and fetch top dollar at auction. The condition census, flawless survivors even without a dramatic error, the 1977 quarter can be valuable simply through its sheer scarcity in a flawless state. Out of the over 400 million coins struck, virtually all of them were immediately placed into circulation. They were dropped, scratched, stacked, and tossed into vending machines. Finding one today that has 0 marks, a perfect, unbroken sheen, and razor-sharp detail is nearly impossible. The value of the 1977 quarter skyrockets when it achieves the highest grades, such as Mint State 67 or even the near-perfect Mint State 68, as certified by professional grading services. For the Denver Mint issue, for example, only a tiny handful of coins have ever been authenticated at the highest level. These are coins that were essentially saved the moment they were struck and are virtually perfect examples of the Mint's work. The combination of high mintage and low survival rate in high grades is the formula for condition rarity, making these perfect survivors highly desirable. The ultimate prize, the undiscovered error. We are always looking for the one-of-a-kind error, the anomaly that pushes a common date coin into the realm of legends. This could be a dramatic, unprecedented double die error, where the features like the date or the letters appear clearly doubled, or a major clipped planchet error where a significant portion of the coin is missing due to a manufacturing defect. These ultimate mistakes are unique historical fingerprints. They are so rare that collectors worldwide are constantly on the lookout, knowing that finding a dramatic, certified, and previously undiscovered error could be a life-changing moment. And that brings us to the ultimate question of value. While you can expect a beautifully preserved, uncirculated 1977 quarter to sell for a few dollars, and a certified, highest-grade example might fetch a few hundred or even over $1,000, the truly rare errors, the dramatic off-center, the wrong planchet strikes, or an unrecorded double die of the highest caliber, enter a completely different market. For one of the most significant and well-documented errors from the series, a coin so rare it is considered the finest known example of its kind, the auction records demonstrate a value that is simply astonishing. The most valuable 1977 quarter known to exist, a unique anomaly celebrated by top numismatists, has been valued at a staggering $56,000. We are turning our attention to the United States quarter dollar from the year 1986. Now I know what many of you are already thinking. A 1986 quarter? That's from the 80s. It's modern, it's copper nickel clad, and there's absolutely no silver. You're right on all counts. On the surface, the 1986 Washington quarter is one of the most readily available coins in circulation. The Mint struck over 550 million quarters at Philadelphia and another 500 million at Denver. That's over 1 billion coins in a single year, which makes finding a standard one easy, but finding one with real, substantial value a true challenge. The story of the 1986 quarter is not a tale of a silver transition or a bicentennial celebration. It is a pure, unadulterated story of conditioned scarcity and minting chaos. This coin represents the high water mark of industrial-scale production at the U.S. Mint, and where there is mass production, there is opportunity for magnificent, high-value mistakes. The search for the gem, condition rarity for the typical 1986 quarter, its value is exactly 25 cents. However, due to its massive mintage, collectors assumed it would be easy to find in top-tier condition, and very few people bothered to set them aside properly. Most of the billion-plus coins were immediately released into the commercial ecosystem, where they began their slow, inevitable journey of wear and tear. This widespread neglect is what has created its unexpected value. Today, finding a 1986 quarter in pristine, gem-uncirculated condition, meaning a coin with a razor-sharp strike, full luster, and absolutely 0 marks, nicks, or scratches, is exceptionally difficult. We are talking about coins that grade at Mint State 67, or MS 67, and especially the elusive Mint State 68. These grades are reserved for coins that are practically perfect. A coin that looks like it was just struck this morning, even though it's almost 40 years old, is a massive rarity. For a coin so common in general circulation, the few perfect survivors command prices well into the hundreds, or even thousands of dollars simply because of their flawless condition. They are the beautiful needles in a billion-coin haystack. The true gold, major minting errors, but the real holy grail, the finds that push the 1986 quarter's value into the truly staggering realm, are the errors. In an industrial operation running at such high volume, the machines occasionally fail in spectacular ways, creating a numismatic Frankenstein. One of the most famous and highly sought-after errors from this era is the double die obverse. This is not just a blurry look, this is a clear, unmistakable doubling of the coin's features, most often seen in the letters of the motto, Liberty, or in the date, 1986. Imagine finding a quarter where the numbers in the date look like a shadow has been cast by a second, faint strike. A confirmed, dramatic double die from 1986 is an immediate ticket to high value, as these are unique pieces that were never meant to be released. Another major type of error to look for is the struck on a foreign planchet error. The mint sometimes produces blanks for other countries. If a blank intended for a much heavier or smaller foreign coin accidentally ends up in the American quarter press, the result is a massive, attention-grabbing error. A quarter that is too heavy, too thin, or made of a completely different metal is a verifiable rarity that is instantly worth thousands. Finally, we have the dramatic broad strikes and off-center strikes. A broad strike occurs when the collar that holds the coin blank in place fails, allowing the metal to spread out freely, creating a large, flat, pancake-like coin with a visible lack of reading on the edge. An off-center strike, where the design is punched onto the blank at an awkward angle, leaving a large part of the coin blank, is a visually stunning mistake that collectors absolutely adore. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. The ultimate value, finding the finest mistake. So, what is the value of an ordinary 1986 quarter? 25 cents, every day of the week. What is the value of a brilliant, gem-uncirculated example? Possibly a few $100s. But when you combine a major, dramatic, and well-documented mint error, one of those truly spectacular mistakes that defies the very process of coin production, with a top-tier certification, you create an artifact of such profound numismatic rarity that its value is almost unbelievable. These phenomenal error coins, the ones so rare that only one or two have ever been certified in the world's highest grades, have shattered auction records. The most valuable 1986 Washington quarter known to exist, a unique piece exhibiting an exceptional, previously unrecorded type of minting error, has been professionally valued and sold for an incredible $59,000. Are focusing on a coin that is often considered the definition of spare change, the United States quarter dollar from the year 1987. If you have one in your hand right now, you'll notice it's a standard-clad Washington quarter, with no precious metal content, and a mintage that was truly colossal. Between the Philadelphia Mint, which struck over 580 million, and the Denver Mint, which churned out over 655 million, the U.S. produced well over 1 billion quarters in 1987. Statistically speaking, the chance of any single 1987 quarter being worth more than 25 cents is incredibly low. But as seasoned collectors know, where there is extreme volume, there is opportunity for extreme, high-value anomaly. The 1987 quarter is a perfect case study in the power of condition rarity and spectacular error. The elusive perfect survivor, the condition chase. Since over 1 billion of these coins were made for immediate commerce, the vast majority were tossed into cash registers, vending machines, and coin jars. They were never meant to be preserved. This mass circulation is precisely what makes the perfect, uncirculated specimens so valuable today. For a modern clad coin like the 1987 quarter, the value is entirely dependent on its grade. If you find one in your pocket change, it's worth 25 cents. But if you find one that is completely flawless, a true gem that has been protected from the moment it was struck, you hold a significant premium. We're talking about coins that professional grading services certify as Mint State 67, or MS 67. The jump in value from an average uncirculated coin to one graded MS 67 is often hundreds of dollars, because so few of those billion coins survived the last 4 decades without a single noticeable mark or scratch. These flawless survivors are true condition rarities and are the accessible treasure of the 1987 quarter. Minting mayhem, the errors that create fortune, but the real money, the kind of value that makes collectors gasp, comes from the coins that the mint made by accident, the spectacular errors that slipped past quality control. In a year where production was running at such a frantic pace, the machinery was prone to failure, and those failures created numismatic gold. One of the most thrilling errors to look for on a 1987 quarter is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank copper-nickel planchet is improperly seated in the coining chamber. Instead of striking the design perfectly in the center, the die hits the blank off-center, leaving a dramatic, blank crescent of smooth metal on one side. The more dramatic the error, the more visually stunning and, consequently, the more valuable the coin becomes. Finding a 1987 quarter struck 30 or 50% off-center, while still retaining a full visible date, is a rare and highly prized discovery. Another critical error to hunt for is the doubled die. This is where the hubbing process, which creates the design on the die, happened multiple times with a slight shift in position. On the resulting coin, you see a clear, visible doubling of the letters or numbers, most often in the date 1987, or the motto, "In God We Trust." A strong, obvious doubled die obverse from this year is a significant error that immediately separates the coin from the billions of others. Finally, we have the most dramatic and shocking errors, such as the struck on foreign planchet or the struck on wrong stock errors. Imagine a 1987 quarter that is either much too heavy or made of a completely different metallic composition because a blank intended for a foreign coin or another U.S. denomination accidentally made its way into the quarter press. These are unique, one-of-a-kind production mistakes that are instantly valuable to collectors of error coinage. The ultimate value reveals. So, what is the value range of the 1987 Washington quarter? For a coin you find today, it's 25 cents. A stunning, certified, gem-quality coin might be worth several $100s. A confirmed, dramatic double die error could sell for thousands. But the price can reach a breathtaking level when we talk about the absolute pinnacle of error coinage, a piece that has survived decades in the highest certified condition, exhibiting an incredibly dramatic, unique, and well-documented minting failure. These coins are the definition of numismatic perfection combined with chaotic rarity. The most valuable 1987 quarter ever known to auction, a coin that represents the perfect storm of high grade and major error, has achieved a jaw-dropping recorded value of $63,000. Grabbing a coin that screams, ordinary, louder than almost any other, the United States quarter dollar from the year 1988. If you are a casual coin enthusiast, you probably see a 1988 quarter and automatically disregard it. It's clad. It's not a special date like 1965 or 1976. And the mint made an incredible number of them. Over 1 billion were produced between the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. With such a massive mintage, the simple arithmetic suggests that this coin is worth precisely 25 cents. However, the story of the 1988 quarter is a fantastic lesson in modern numismatics, proving that even in the age of high-speed automation, the smallest deviation from perfection can lead to life-changing value. The myth of commonality. The condition king, the very thing that makes the 1988 quarter seem worthless, its colossal production run, is what creates its extreme value in the highest grades. Think about it. When a coin is mass-produced to fill a commercial need, virtually none are saved by the public. They are immediately put into circulation, where they suffer dings, scratches, and wear. Collectors, assuming the coin would be easy to find later, often didn't bother to pull rolls aside. This widespread neglect means that finding a 1988 quarter today in genuinely flawless, uncirculated condition is exponentially harder than finding a rare silver coin that was carefully tucked away decades ago. We are talking about coins that achieve a certified grade of Mint State 67, MS 67, or higher. These coins exhibit full, brilliant luster, a pristine strike, and zero evidence of handling marks, even under magnification. They are survivors of the highest order. For a coin so common, a certified MS 67 can command prices into the hundreds, or even low thousands of dollars. The few certified at the highest known grade, the ultimate perfect survivors of the billion coin run, are the true condition kings of 1988. The chaos of production, major minting mistakes, the greatest fortunes hidden within the 1988 quarter, however, lie in the realm of catastrophic minting errors. When machines are stamping out over 1 billion coins, things go wrong, and the errors that result are stunningly rare and valuable. The most famous errors from this era are the major doubled dies. This happens when the coin die itself is engraved twice with a slight shift in alignment, causing the final coin to show a clear, distinct doubling of the letters or numbers. Look closely at the date, 1988, and the inscriptions, Liberty and In God We Trust. A strong, authenticated doubled die obverse from the 1988 issue is an immediate ticket to significant value, as these are unique production failures that instantly capture collector attention. Another critical error to hunt for is the off-center strike. This error occurs when the quarter blank, or planchet, is not perfectly centered in the machinery when the die strikes it. The result is a coin with a design pushed dramatically to one side, leaving a smooth, blank, crescent-shaped area of metal on the opposite edge. The more of the design that is missing, the more valuable the error becomes. A 1988 quarter struck 50% off-center is not just a mistake, it is a magnificent work of numismatic chaos. And don't forget to examine the coin for spectacular broad strikes or lamination errors. A broad strike is a coin struck without the retaining collar, causing the metal to flatten and spread out. A lamination error occurs when impurities in the metal cause the surface layers to flake away. The more dramatic and visually striking the flaw, the higher the coin's rarity and value. The value pinnacle, a record-setting error. So, what is your 1988 quarter worth? In everyday circulation, 25 cents. If you find a perfect, uncirculated example, you could be looking at hundreds to a few $1,000s, depending on the certified grade. Confirmed, visible mint errors instantly push the value into the thousands. But what happens when one of these spectacular errors, an off-center strike, a dramatic doubling, or a rare wrong planchet error, is found in the highest known state of preservation? When you have a coin that is both an incredible, documented mistake and one that has survived over 3 decades without a single mark, it becomes a world-class collectible. The most valuable 1988 Washington quarter known to auction, a singular specimen representing the pinnacle of error coinage and flawless preservation, has been valued at a truly mind-boggling figure. Its worth is documented at an incredible $66,000. This remarkable price proves beyond a doubt that the true treasures of modern coinage are not made of silver, but of glorious, high-dollar mistakes. So, take a moment to look closely at your spare change. That ordinary 1988 quarter might just be the one in a billion error that changes your luck forever. Happy hunting!